You can work it and I'll work it and then we'll go over it. Okay, so I am done and I have my solution up here. Now, yours might not be exactly the same if you chose different representatives, but this where I have S0, you should have either S0, S2, S4, or S6. So this is S0, S2, S4, or S6. And where I have S1, you should have S1 or S5. But other than that, it should look the same. And so I will explain, but before I explain, let me see if somebody has a question that you'd like me to, or you see that maybe you think I did something wrong, which is very possible. Okay, so let me explain how I went through this. For the first group, the first partition just puts them all together. The second partition divides them based just on the output. And so based just on the output, S3 is the only one that's separate. So you put everything else together and then put S3 together. Then S3, we don't have to deal with that one. It's all by itself, so it's always going to be fine. And then now we're going to divide this up based on the 0 successors. And so if I look at S0, its 0 successor is S1, which is in the same group. And when I look at S1, its 0 successor is S3, which is in a different group. So I divided up S0 and S1, and I put them in separate groups. And then S2, its 0 successor was S5. So S0 went to S1, and S1 went to S3, which is why S1 had to move. S2 went to S5, which is in the same group that S0 went to, so S2 stays in this group. S4 went to S5, which is in the same group, so it stays. S5 went to S3, so it moves over to the group that has S1 in it. And then S6, its 0 successor is S5. Oh, so do I have it in the wrong group? No, not yet. But I'm eventually going to have to move it, so it looks like I'm not done. I didn't finish. I thought I had finished, but I had not. So this is not, I'm not done. So, and we'll see that in a second. So S6 goes to S5, which for right now is fine. It keeps it in the same group because I'm just looking at the groups here. And then I move on to my 1 successors. And when I look at my 1 successors, the 1 successors, everybody ends up staying to the same group. So S0, 2, 4, and 6, 0, 2, 4, and 6 go to 2, 6, 6, and 6. So those are all in the same group. So they stay the same. And S1 and S5 both go to S4. So they stay the same. So there's no change there. But I did make a change in between P2 and P2 and P3. This should have been P4. So I need to check my 0 successors again. And when I check my 0 successors again, I see that 0 goes to 1, 2 goes to 5, 4 goes to 5, 6 goes... Oh no, these are fine. And 6 goes to 5. Those are fine. Those all go to S1 and S5. Yeah. So 0, it's good. Yeah, I'm checking. I should check. I do have to check. But they do all go to the same group. So the 0 successors, S0 goes to S1. S2 goes to S5. S4 goes to S5. And S6 goes to S5. So they all go to the second group. The 0 successors of S1 and S5 are both S3, so that's fine. And then I check the 1 successors, and those aren't going to change from when I checked them before, so that has to be right. And so then I made the state table, the minimized state table. Okay, So any questions on that? All right, so the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and do it so that y'all will have it, but you're going to talk about it in class tomorrow. So I don't normally do something you haven't done in class yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and cover it. So let me record.